Right, everyone, it is January. We can safely say that now. And that means, well, it means two things. The first thing is that the new year is upon us. The year is 2022. Hello. Weird saying that. The other thing, the more important part of this, is that the January transfer window is now open. And wouldn't you just know it, Celtic have already signed 3 players. In fact, we'd signed those 3 players before the January transfer window had even opened. I don't know what parallel universe we've all slipped into, but I'm not going to stop and complain. I'm just going to be glad that Celtic seem to be learning lessons from what's happened in the past. The 3 players that we've signed have all come from Japanese football, and I thought we could just take the start of this video to basically show them a little bit of respect, the respect they definitely deserve, and basically say their names how they're meant to be said. Now, I know it's the done thing nowadays that when a new player is signed, you've automatically got about 8 or 9 different variations of how to say their name going about. And that's just the Scottish players. So I thought, as I say, we could show these players the respect they deserve and properly pronounce their name. Easy for me to say. So, yeah, silence at the back. Reo Hatate. Reo Hatate. Your turn. Dyson Maeda. Dyson Maeda. Your turn. Yosuke Ideguchi. Yosuke Ideguchi. Your turn. Now, I spent about 30-45 minutes earlier on actually on the J-League International YouTube account, watching highlights of these players playing, listening carefully to the Japanese commentators pronouncing their names. So no excuses for the Daz out there getting this wrong. That's how you say them. We've already released the videos from Japanese football expert analyst Sam Robson on Hatate and Dyson. We'll release the Gucci one very soon at some point this week, and it was recorded prior to my awakening, prior to my eyes being opened to the wonders of Japanese culture. So when you hear that or watch that, just let me off with my daft pronunciation. One final thing to say about these guys is it's interesting that the 2 players that we've had unveiled to us so far have both gone with what we would look at as being their first names on the back of their shirts. So we've had Dyson and we've had Yosuke. And obviously Kyogo has gone with his forename as well. So we'll wait and see if Ryo can complete the set. But that's all old news for now. Who cares? Japanese players, whatever. Because we've got some more news for you today, some transfer updates. I'm guessing the main reason you've clicked on this video is to do with Jota, the Portuguese sensation, because there has been a little bit of an update on him today. Now, the update is from Lisbon sports newspaper A Bola. That translates as a ball. Japanese, Portuguese, you've really been treated to all the languages today. But anyway, it's a positive update with regards to Jota because they say that Celtic and Benfica are continuing talks about a permanent move for Jota with a fee of 7.5 million euros, which translates to 6.3 million pounds being mentioned. Now, the report goes on to say that Benfica have already assumed that Celtic want to sign Jota permanently. So that's obviously a good sign. Away from the kind of transfer stuff, the report also says that Jota went back to Benfica HQ for treatment on his hamstring injury, but they say that this isn't said to be a big deal, basically, because he also did the same while on loan at Real Valladolid last year. Now, I did wonder if Jota had gone back to his homeland. I thought it was interesting we didn't see him at all at Hampden for the celebrations after we beat Hibs in the Premier Sports Cup final. He was perhaps already back in Portugal at that stage. But this is really promising. This is the update that we've been waiting for. It seems like this is a deal we may very well see done in the next couple of weeks. I personally didn't think it was something we'd see done in January. I thought Celtic would just do what Celtic always do and kind of let this run on to the end of the season. Why would they go and try and sign him permanently if they've already got him tied up for the rest of the season? Why deal with something today when you can do it in, tomorrow or a few days down the line or a few months down the line? That's kind of been the way Celtic have dealt with, transfer issues and contract issues over the last decade or so. So I'm surprised and really heartened that after getting these 3 Japanese players in so early for Ange, it seems like Celtic are really keen to get Jota in this month as well. And Cameron Carter-Vickers has been mentioned as well. We can all dream of the perfect announcement in January of Cameron Carter-Vickers and Jota both permanently signed, a double announcement. If that happened, I would need about a fortnight to compose myself before I came on and spoke to you guys and girls. But all promising, good stuff. That's incomings, and we will of course keep you updated if anything else happens in the rest of time. There's also a few developments on the outgoing side with loans and such. Barry Coffey has extended his loan spell with League of Ireland First Division side Cork City. He joined them in July. He played part of last season as Cork finished 6th in the second tier of Irish football. I didn't actually know they weren't playing in the top tier anymore. But I know now their new season starts in mid-February, and Coffey will be with Cork until returning to Celtic on June the 9th. Joining him out on loan for the second half of the season could well be Liam Shaw and Osaze Urhoghide. Now, the pair that we both signed on 4-year contracts from Sheffield Wednesday in the summer have struggled for opportunities so far under Ange. That's just the kind of blunt truth of it. Both have started just one competitive game. Of course, that was against Real Betis, while Shaw also came on away to St Mirren in our, I think, penultimate match before the break. He played, 11 or 12 minutes then. Reports say that there is loan interest in both players, but that Ange will gauge their thoughts as well before making a decision. Now, I actually asked Ange about the prospect of both Shaw and Urhoghide going out on loan this month in a fan media press conference that Celtic arranged back in mid-November. Here's a reminder of what Ange had to say then.
Osaze and Liam, difficult for them in the fact that, sometimes when you bring in young players, and those certainly players we brought in as sort of development players, much easier to bring those kinds in when the team is settled. But obviously, we brought them in at a time where, a lot of new players are in the team's still finding its way, and unfortunately we haven't been able to get a lot of game time for them, but they're working hard at training every day. They're pushing themselves. I believe even though they haven't played, they've improved as footballers. And if you train every day with us, one thing I will say is you will improve. And it's about now getting them the right opportunity. They may be here, they may be, as you said, a loan deal somewhere. But we'll make those decisions. Come January, we'll sit down with the boys and see what their best sort of way forward is. But every day, like I said, I believe they're improving. They're working hard. They've got great attitudes, and football's a funny thing. Sometimes it's very difficult to kind of align yourself with opportunities and the timing of them. They come along sometimes when you least expect it, as I said to players, consistently.
So it seems like loan moves could be on the agenda for both Shaw and Urhoghide, and I think that would be good for both them and for Celtic as well. I think both players have something to work with. We saw that in the Real Betis game. I think they're both quite raw, but they clearly have something and just need a bit of first team football, something that isn't going to be possible at Celtic in the second half of the season. You would think there would probably be an English Championship club or maybe even a top flight club up in Scotland that would be a good destination and a good fit for both players. I do wonder if they'll come as a double package. They've seemed to go about together their whole career so far, so will they both go to the same club? Will they be split up? Who could possibly do that to the pair of them? But interesting times. Another player that has been spoken about leaving Celtic but permanently is Ewan Henderson. He has reportedly been told he can leave. His contract is up in the summer, with Sean Maloney's Hibernian being mentioned as a potential destination. Other teams said to be interested as well. It does seem like Ewan Henderson is extremely likely to be leaving Celtic this month. So things are heating up at Celtic. There's plenty of rumours happening, and that's just today. We'll try and do this Monday roundup, well, every Monday, I suppose, and keep you abreast of what's happening after the weekend. You know, at the weekend, you maybe kind of dip out of Celtic stuff a little bit. So we'll get you right back on track at the start of the week. And it's the start of quite a busy week with regards to 67 Hail Hail. Celtic as well, with players back in training. We're only a fortnight now away from Celtic's next competitive game against Hibernian. We will have Scott McDonald back on the channel this week. We've also got the insight on Yosuke Ideguchi, or just Gucci, later on in the week, as well as much more. December was another huge month for 67 Hail Hail. We had just under 500,000 hits for that month alone, and 1,000 new subscribers. 1,000 of you joining the wonderful club that is 67 Hail Hail. There's still more of you watching us that aren't subscribed than are, which is pretty surprising. So you can go on and change that by subscribing if you fancy it. It's free and means that you won't miss out on any video, and we put videos out every single day. And on that subject, speak to you tomorrow.